In this video we are going to talk about the meaning of omnivert, the main differences with the ambivert and the signs you may be an omnivert. Have you ever been asked whether you're an introvert or an extrovert and your response was it depends? Do you feel like your mood plays a huge role in your behavior? Do you often shift from extreme extroversion to extreme introversion? If you answered yes to these questions, you might be an omnivert. Now, the question is, what is an omnivert? Omnivert meaning. Omnivert is a term used to describe someone who displays both the traits of introverts and extroverts. These people can shift from one extreme to another and their behavior usually depends on the situation they find themselves in, on their mood, or both. Ambivert versus omnivert, what are the differences? The main difference between ambiverts and omniverts is this: while the ambivert can control their behavior and adapts to the situation they're in, the omnivert lets their mood and other external circumstances dominate the way they behave. Also, ambivert is a more widely recognized and accepted term in psychology. However, there's more to it. What follows are the main points of difference between ambiverts and omniverts. 1. Balance versus extremes. Ambiverts combine the best of both worlds. They possess both introverted and extroverted characteristics, hovering in the middle of the personality spectrum. Not to mention, they balance both traits at once, while omniverts are either extreme introverts or extroverts depending on the situation. 2. Personality traits. One way to view ambiverts is that they're like chameleons. As we mentioned before, they control how they behave depending on the circumstances. They are flexible and they can adapt to new environments easily. Depending on the situation, ambiverts can transition from teamwork to individual tasks and back again. Omniverts, instead, react according to how they feel in a given situation. They may do well in teamwork, even if introversion dominates their mood that day. However, they'll prefer sitting at their desks and focusing on their work instead. 3. Workplace success. Of course, it takes much more than your personality type to succeed in the workplace. Still, the way you interact with others can influence how successful you become. That's especially true in a sales career. For example, in the sales world, ambiverts are likely to be more successful than extreme extroverts. It sounds surprising, doesn't it? According to a study conducted by Adam Grant, ambiverts are more successful in sales compared to extroverts and introverts. But how? Their success has to do with the high flexibility they possess. On one hand, they can be enthusiastic and assertive, like extroverts. On the other hand, ambiverts are likely to listen to the consumer's needs first and be more receptive, like introverts. As a result, they don't appear overconfident or too pushy, which can be counterproductive in a sales negotiation. For this reason, ambiverts are more likely to persuade customers than other personality types. Now, what does this study has to do with omniverts? Well, Grant's research showed that extreme extroverts generate the least revenue. That's because a person with high extroversion can come off as arrogant or overwhelming, which is a put-off. Likewise, extreme introversion also tends to lead to less sales. As you might have guessed, omniverts combine both extreme traits, so a sales career might not be their best option. 4. Social situations. Ambiverts are consistent in their behavior when it comes to social situations. For instance, in public speaking, ambiverts might always find it a bit nerve-wracking, just like 77% of the population. Still, those social chameleons can rely on their introverted traits to thoroughly plan their speech. Plus, they can handle unexpected situations thanks to their extroverted characteristics. So, ambiverts can be extroverts out of external necessity. That's not the case with omniverts. Public speaking can be their strength if they're feeling like a social butterfly on that day. However, If extreme introversion kicks in, speaking in front of hundreds of people may not be their cup of tea. In less stressful situations, like parties or group gatherings, ambiverts tend to do better. They may enjoy being in the spotlight, but not for long. However, you won't notice any drastic change in an ambivert's behavior, whether on a great night out or at a small gathering. Omniverts instead can be the life of the party if they're in an extroverted mood. However, you'll notice them shrinking in the background whenever they feel overwhelmed, like an introvert would do.